Hey guys, well, we're out here at the Mini Meltdown day number 2. This is the Prelude, so walk around the pits of who all is here, who's passed inspection. And if you guys missed it, we already have day number 1 up on YouTube, so make sure to go check that out. When by the time you're seeing this video, that should already be up. So there you go, and we're just gonna walk around the pits here and see who we see. There was some chances of rain this morning, so you will see some tarps and things covered up. So if that is your vehicle, I do apologize. You're not going to get it featured on our videos the same way that you typically would. But nonetheless, there you are. So as far as events, we have 3 more heats of compacts today. So that would be the normal Meltdown class. We're going to do 3 heats of those. There's farm trucks, so that's basically like a stock build full-size truck. Compact truck slash minivan. They're going to have economy V8, so it's kind of a middle of the road build as far as V8s. And then I heard, at least they announced it during the drivers meeting, that if they had enough interest, they would do kind of a more of what I would call a cleanup heat. So anybody who ran yesterday and had something silly happen, or potentially somebody who runs today and has something silly happen, they can come back and run what would be more of a cleanup heat. Wouldn't want to call it a consi because you're technically not doing a new feature. I think they would just be competing to junk their cars. So we're gonna just capture as many as we can. I'm gonna assume that this is heat number 1, and then they just kind of go in order. We'll just capture them as we see them. So as always, if you guys see your vehicle, make sure to give a shout out with a little bit of a timestamp. Or if you see your buddy's car or whoever, make sure to let them know that you saw this. So there is a lot of cars here, so we're just going to kind of not super focus on any one thing unless we see something that is unique and needs to be pointed out. So you see a little bit of mild to wild with some of these builds. You're not really allowed to do much. You can put a cage in, move the gas tank, swap tires and bumper, and then you can wire the doors and everything shut. Some people go a little bit farther and actually swap out and put a carb on it. To each their own flavor. I'm not a big fan of carbs personally, but if you like it, then it works well.
You like that? Yo, I want to get in that shit.
You're in it.
My wife went somewhere today.
And that looks like the end of the first line of cars here, so we're going to go ahead and actually go catch the next line. Alright, I think this is heat number 2. Nothing else, it's a whole nother row of compacts. Now the cars are parked kind of tight here, guys, so I can only get so far away, so do apologize if I don't feature your car super great.
I thought you had it one. I thought Jay was stuck. Dude, that hole, I have no idea how he got out. That hole is that fucking deep. It was insane.
I'm actually going to switch sides here because the cars are, there's a little more room to walk on this side of the cars. So hopefully we can see a little bit better. Now something you're going to see with some of these cars is they will add an extra flap of rubber. So basically what that is, they just take another tire, cut this bead off of it, and then we'll put it out as a protector. The idea here is that you're going to cut that little flap before you actually cut your tire. Teach their own with that one. It seems to work well. You could also go in double tires, and some guys swear by the flap, some don't like it, because if it does rip, then you rip your bead off that much quicker, but it never hurts if it's more of a stock build. This one's seen a little bit of time out on the track, that is for sure. Now one thing to make note here, this guy doesn't even have a core support or a radiator. He's just got it looped together. You can kind of, if I get my camera to work here, you can see down in there. He's just got the hoses looped. And, oh, I guess he does have the core support in there, just not running any radiator. So he is just ready to go, or she, I guess, is gonna go make some junk and just finish that car off.
Back there waiting, man.
Alright, now we're going to go ahead and catch the next row here. Again, I'm not really sure exactly which heat is which. I want to say this is supposed to be heat 3, but cars are kind of all intermixed all over the place, so if I am mistaken, I probably am. Well, there's only 3 cars here anyway, so we'll capture these guys, then we'll go get the trucks and the other vehicles, and then when we get to the rest of the compacts, obviously we'll show you that. So here we have the farm truck class. So as I kind of mentioned, that rules is basically a full-size trucks built fairly stock. They basically can put different tires on, swap the bumper, basic roll cage, and then wires everything shut. This guy, no radiator again, just like that compact that we already saw. I just got them looped, which they can run for quite a while like that. This looks like, I think, a newer model Suburban. I was hoping there'd be some tags on it. It's kind of hard to, yeah, Suburban. Yep. Again, this one looks to be more of a Tahoe. I think it's slightly shorter than a Suburban. And this one, I am not sure what it is. I talked to these guys earlier and never asked what vehicle this actually is that he's running. So it is a Trailblazer. Aha, newer model Trailblazer. Never seen one of these run before, so that ought to be interesting. He's rocking the aluminum wheels and straight stock tires. He's just gonna go make some junk. I think that's the main goal here. And this appears to be the end of this row of trucks too. So everybody's just getting parked on in. So we're gonna go catch some full-size cars and then catch the rest of the trucks when we find them. So here we have the Economy V8 class. So this is kind of more of your middle of the road build. You can modify more so than any of the stock classes, but you still can't do all the kickers and other mod things. But you can swap out the rear end. You can do, looks like, I don't know, it doesn't look like you can do hump plates, but you can chain everything down, swap bumpers. Must be some basic welding on the frame, but that's about it. And then your normal roll cage, coolers, shifters, all that fun accessories and things you can buy. Some of these guys have definitely seen the track. Actually, a lot of these are pre-ran, but sometimes in this class that's a good thing.
Should you run with the 6-cylinder?
First round back I've seen out here, so got a round back wagon coming to play.
KY jelly regret.
Yeah, have no welds. So you run in the world?
Put a cage. Now this car, this is going to be driven by Brian Tompkins. Being you guys know him, he's on the Crash Course podcast. He's one of the 2 hosts of that. So if you've never heard of the Crash Course podcast, make sure to go check those guys out on Facebook. They do a weekly podcast, Derby podcast, I should say, every week. Chris Marquardt and Brian do a great job. Always want to tune into that. So again, Crash Course Derby podcast. Check them out on Facebook. This wagon is definitely seen some better days, but he's gonna go out and have a blast, I'm sure. Love it when you guys drag out the old iron. This is like kind of like your old style classic build that I probably grew up watching. You go to the what is it? It's an 88, I think. Another square body wagon here. And Crown Vic. Alright. Looks like the next row of vehicles over here, we've got the compact truck and mini trucks, as well as mini vans. So we got them all in this heat. So we're going to give you guys a quick walkthrough and see these guys. Jeep Grand Cherokee. This is the Jeep Liberty, I think, that ran yesterday, or it certainly looks fairly similar to it if it's not. Dodge Dakota. Now these Dodge Dakotas and Durangos are actually really good in the mini trucks if you guys are allowed to run them. Some promoters are kind of catching on to how tough they are and won't let them run. Other ones are just leaving them there because not too many show up, and sometimes they have engine issues and who knows what else that might happen. Looks like a Caravan. I think this might actually be a Sienna. I'm probably wrong, but looks to be a little newer model. Yukon. So here we have a Pontiac Aztek. Now, there's some different interpretations on which class that this vehicle can run, because back home I've seen the Azteks run actually with the compact cars. I've seen them run with the mini trucks and minivans, which is where this is going to run today. So leave a comment down below. I'm kind of curious what your guys' thoughts on the Aztek here, because this kind of gets into that crossover SUV where it's as much a car as it is a SUV. And so, you know, where do you fit it? I think they have it fit properly, because I don't honestly believe it should be running with the compact cars, because it's more of an SUV than a car. But I've seen it run with the cars, and actually back home that's what they do. So I've had leads on running one, which I may try, but obviously I want to make sure it's fair and safe and all that fun stuff. Oh, we got a Plymouth minivan here. Now I think this is a Dakota, or no, a Durango. Sorry, Durango, because obviously it's the laser style. So that is a Durango. That ought to be pretty tough. Those things back home in the mini class, if they can run, the Durangos clean up all day. So he's got a nice stout bumper on the front. As long as it keeps the wheels under the thing, ought to be one to watch. Montana. Jeep Cherokee. Not terribly impressed with these things after running ours, but it's still fun to see them come out, and everybody kind of have their own flavor of how to build them. It is always kind of neat when you see somebody that does something similar to what we did, which is took a tailgate on the back. And curious if maybe this particular person checked out our videos and watched how to build a Jeep Cherokee. Would be kind of curious. Jeep Liberty, and we got another Ranger. And then here we've got the mini truck that actually won on yesterday. So this thing has definitely seen some abuse, and I don't know if I hope he doesn't have it covered, but they did some work on this thing, because it's much more of a vehicle than it was yesterday, assuming that this is the same one, which I think it is. Because the frame rails before, this one was like pushed over straight across the front, this one was pushed in, so it looks like they may have just added their own metal and just made it happen. Alright, so real quick here, we're gonna keep on moving, and we're going to capture these full-size trucks again for the farm class. I'm gonna say that this is also a Tahoe. It looks to be too short to be a Suburban. I could be mistaken on that. They did too good of a job removing the stickers. I can't really make it out. Late 80s, early 90s Ford four-wheel drive. He's got four-wheel drive on the front, so he's got a you know, more of a solid axle in the front with lockers. These things can be fairly tough. He's got the back end sitting pretty high, which is an interesting idea. We've ran this and they're really soft behind the cab. If you guys don't want to check out our videos, feel free to. We ran this style. It was a pretty stout truck, and then eventually it just started to bow, and it went quick when it went. But the thing still was running and moving somehow. And then you got, interesting, must have been way too rusty or something. Oh no, he's got like a plastic bed. It must have been a step side bed on this thing, because they cut the steps off of it. Interesting. Never seen somebody do that before. It ought to be kind of fun to watch this thing bend, because there's not much for metal there, only the main part is, I think. Yeah, that is some metal, but 1500. Alright, and now we're going to capture some more of the compacts that we have over here. Again, not really sure which heat this is, if this is part of heat number 3 or the cleanup. Based on some of the cars, I actually recognize a few of these, so this must be the cleanup heat coming back from yesterday to do some finish off work to clear out the shop so they can get on to the next build. Which, those are always the best heats to watch, because these guys just want to make junk, which out here in New York, that's all you guys want to do anyway. So awesome, kudos to you guys for that, because I love coming to film in New York. You guys put on a heck of a show. Personally, big fan. He's got the skid steer tires, but they're nice and short. They're not too tall, so he has lots of room. If you see how much room he has up in there from the strut, so definitely my flavor of Mini to do that. You can still do some things to get your front end sitting up high, but it gives you a lot more room for your wheels to do what they got to do. And then we got, these look to be fresh, so I'm gonna guess this is the rest of heat number 3. But again, just a guess, I'm probably wrong. But anyways, here's some cars. And hopefully we don't get in any issues with the music playing in the background, so that's why I keep talking. I know my voice probably gets annoying after a while, but YouTube does not particularly like it when music is playing in the background, so we do our best to cover that up. We're gonna switch sides so we get a little more room to get more of the car in the shot here. Another mini truck pulling up. We'll go check him out here in a second. This one looks like it's been re-clipped with a few different times. And this one is definitely seen some time out on the track. Alright, we're gonna go capture the mini truck that just pulled up. I was assuming that this was a mini truck, but he did pull in line with the full-size truck, so hopefully that was by mistake for him. But this one, never seen a Mazda truck run before, honestly, so this ought to be interesting to watch. And he's got some nice tall tires on the front, but just some normal standard tires on the back. And he is running a drive shaft, so it's rear-wheel drive, so he doesn't have much for tire. He only has the street tires on the back, which is interesting. This thing is really quite clean. Could be the paint covering up some sin, because I guess there is some rust, but what truck doesn't? Alright, so we're going to capture these couple cars right here real quick. These are the last few just sitting over in the normal lineup. Then we're going to catch a couple cars that are just now pulling up, and then we'll get to the inspection area in the pits and see what we can see. So these guys just pulled up in the lineup. We're going to catch them real quick so we don't miss them. Somebody spent a lot of time in this paint job. As you can see, eich one of these lines was individually painted. Somebody spent some time on it.
Sorry, bud.
You're fine. A few more cars pulling up here in the lineup. Roadmaster wagon. Another caddy. Alright, that's the end of the cars that are officially in the lineup. So now at this point we're just going to see what we can see as we walk through the inspection line in the pits.
Which, surprisingly, he got stuck in the autopilot because the front seat balance was out. That was it. Other than that, he was completely underbuilt.
Miss this guy over here. Alright, doesn't look like anybody's actually up in inspection, so I guess we're just going to see what we can see on the pits. So a few vehicles that are not up in the lineup yet. We got another Durango up here for the compact truck and minivan class. Got another minivan through here, Town and Country minivan. I'm gonna guess this is a Caravan. Another Durango. These guys are all staking back at the trailers. What's up with that? These things are pretty good vehicles. This one's definitely seeing some rust. Yeah, Expedition, that's what I was thinking it was. So over here we kind of have vendor alleys. So the first one we have is Demolition Derby Life magazine. If you guys are not familiar with them, definitely need to check this one out. We advertised with them and we were lucky enough to be able to be featured in the September 2019 edition. So if you have not read that, definitely pick that one up. But these guys do a great job. They are really up and coming in the Derby world as far as magazines. So check them out on Facebook, Demolition Derby Live magazine, and demolitionderbylife.com. So you want to check these guys out. They do an awesome job every month. New edition, an actual magazine. It's not a digital one, it's an actual one that will arrive at your doorstep. So make sure to check them out for the latest prices and everything. But Demolition Derby Life magazine. And over here we've got Jeffy's Fab Farm. It is Jeffy's Fab Farm Mini Meltdown, so of course he was going to be here, but he features all kinds of the top of the line Derby products, from LS to a lot of mini stuff, headers, shifters, batteries. You guys can advertise way better than me.
Oh, don't put me on camera. I'm eating lunch. Come
on,
on,
man.
You're killing me. You're doing a fantastic job, man.
Thank you, man. Do appreciate that. So make sure to check these guys out. Jeffy's Fab Farm on Facebook. Check out their website. You can order everything off their website and have it shipped right to your house wherever you are. And in this world of the pandemic and everything else, make sure to not miss out on those orders. Over here we've got the best paint cars lined up, and we got Mr. Jason Sauer making it happen right here live. Check out the video, want to see what that thing looks like here in a little bit. So these guys are all lined up for the best paint. So a lot more people here than yesterday. And unfortunately I didn't get a chance to film them before they abandoned the lineup. So just love it when people put in the time and do the painting, decals, whatever they got to do to make these things look pretty awesome. Check that out. Just got to feature that. Guy went and painted the motor and just made it all part of it. Got no core support, no radiator, might as well have some fun with it. And I love the theme. And we got the last one here. I gotta zoom up a little for this thing, but another full-size truck. This is the one that I think Tix is actually going to be running, that Decker built for him, and I think, yep, Decker who. So definitely want to check him out. He's coming in from out of town, and he's going to be able to tear it out. So there you go, guys. There is the quick walk around the pits of everything out here at the Mini Meltdown. They're getting ready to start the drivers meeting, so we're going to have to abandon this video here. If you guys liked the video, make sure to give us a thumbs up and consider subscribing if you've not already done so. We'll put links in the description below for individual heats, so make sure to check that out. And until the next video, and for Mini Meltdown, hope you guys have a great day.